Welcome to the Den, the Dark Entertainment Network. I'm the Gothic Rose, and this is the dark tale of the day. Let me take this moment to reintroduce myself. I am the Gothic Rose, hostess of the Dark Entertainment Network. This is a channel where the news meets conspiracy theories and makes babies in my brain, and it comes out my mouth. I do this because I enjoy it. If you like this type of content, please follow along, because I'm not going to stop. Today we talk about the Silk Road, the modern day Silk Road, from Ross Ulbricht, who has very controversially been pardoned by Donald Trump. The same Donald Trump who has deported people back to all countries of Latin America and India, calling them all kinds of criminals and drug dealers. But he has pardoned the white man, Ross Ulbricht, for his modern day Silk Road. Now, this man, Ulbricht, calls himself the Dread Pirate Roberts, which I have an issue with because that is the Princess Bride, which has nothing to do with illegal drugs. And he took the Silk Road, that name, from ancient China. So the Silk Road began during the Han Dynasty, 206 BCE to 220 CE, when Emperor Wu sent his envoy Zhang Quan to explore the western regions. The main route started from Chang'an, which is modern-day Xi'an, passing through Central Asia and ending in Rome, with southern and northern branches, as well as maritime routes, and they traded silk and goods, spices, precious metals, textiles, ceramics, and horses. So the Silk Road was a melting pot of cultures, spreading Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, and other religions, but it began to decline in the 14th century due to factors like the rise of maritime trade routes and the fall of the Mongol Empire. So along comes a white man to culturally appropriate and take an incredibly brave and noble character and put them together to use Bitcoin and money launder while selling drugs. So over $200 million worth of illegal drugs were sold on the Silk Road, and it facilitated transactions amounting up to 9,519,664 Bitcoins. I don't even know how to fathom what that is because Bitcoin is incredibly foreign to me, and I think it's a dangerous method to use for any kind of currency exchange. Because look how easily the US Treasury Department was just hacked by Elon Musk and his boy band, also put forward by Donald Trump, the same man who pardoned this guy right here, Ross Ulbricht, Dread Pirate Roberts. It's very, very sickening to me. So Ulbricht was arrested on October 2013 by the FBI in San Francisco, and the FBI tracked him down using data leaked from the site's CAPTCHA. Very interesting. The trial and sentence. So in 2015, Ulbricht was convicted on multiple charges, including drug trafficking, computer hacking, and money laundering. And he was sentenced to 2 life terms plus 40 years without the possibility of parole, but was pardoned immediately on January 21st, 2025, when Donald Trump granted Ulbricht a full and unconditional pardon, citing the sentence as ridiculous and expressing gratitude to the libertarian movements for their support. So, because the libertarians voted for him unanimously, it seems, he pardoned their guy, one of the biggest known drug dealers and money launderers, white guy, white collar crime, right? Nobody was hurt. Of course, people were hurt. Drugs, people died, and money. People also died when their money is gone. So, besides drugs, the Silk Road also sold fake passports, stolen credit card information, and provided hitman services. The site had a review system where buyers could rate sellers similar to platforms like eBay. Now, what was Bitcoin's role? Well, it was one of the first major platforms to popularize the use of Bitcoin for illegal transactions. And then, after the Silk Road was shut down, several copycat sites like Silk Road 2.0 and 3.0 were emerged, but were eventually taken down by law enforcement. Now, I wonder if this will reappear again and he will be able to create the Silk Road website again, Ulbricht, and launder money and sell drugs, as they seem to be trying to stop it from coming in from all of these other countries with threats of tariffs that they have put in place now on China. We've got retaliatory stuff happening. So is this man going to be allowed, without being checked at all, to run this website again and use Bitcoin? The whole thing seems crazy to me, because I thought that Trump ran on law and order and only pardoning nonviolent criminals, but he also pardoned every single January 6th rioter. So it just seems really crazy to me that he would let this man out who did so much damage while screaming and crying and throwing a fit about everybody else being a drug dealer and a criminal, and deporting people without lawyers, without due process, trials, nothing. Nothing. But this man who went through a trial by the current law of the United States of America, which seems to have just been tossed the fuck out, right? It's just tossed out. It seems like the laws only count for certain people. But what Ross Ulbricht did, besides sell drugs, was launder money. He hurt so many people. So many people lost so much because of him. And he is now walking free and has the ability to create a site like this again and do all of this damage. And Trump is screaming about more border patrols from Canada and Mexico on the border for fentanyl. But if this man is let out of jail and he's been pardoned for all of his crimes, he can very easily set up another digital Silk Road. And then how are you going to get, like, where the drugs are going to come in? Where are they going to come from? To let this man out, but put additional border patrol on the US side and say it's about drugs is just juxtaposition of everything you say you stand for. You do one thing and say another, like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Is this just a power trip of his? Is there a plan behind it? Is he just a megalomaniac? What is it? Is he just trying to prove that he believes that white men do not commit crimes and are superior? It just seems to me that nothing at all makes sense. If you want to be about law and order, don't pardon people who have broken the law just because you don't believe that it was a law. It doesn't make any sense. But we don't have a constitution, it seems, right now. We have the State Department flying our flag upside down. We have ICE agents walking through neighborhoods, knocking on doors. We have criminals walking the street and running the country who think they own the world. The Silk Road was invented for pure profit, with loss of life not an issue. Not caring if it's a mom or a dad or a child that gets hurt in the process and loses their life, loses all their money. I just don't understand why someone like that should have a pardon. That's really, to me, one of the most controversial and hypocritical things that Donald Trump has done so far. If you like this kind of content, let me know what you think in the comments. Feel free to subscribe, and thank you for joining me in the den.